All right. Happy New Year's Eve, everybody.
Do your noisemaker sound. Yeah, party.
Yeah.
La, la, la. Wait, how's the song go? Na, 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 na. It's a wonder why people don't come to our parties.
Why don't they? Okay, so stuff in today's podcast. We talk about how long it would take to watch all of Netflix.
What month are we in? Or what are we
right
dealing
now,
with?
you're at the end of May going into June.
Okay.
Through the middle of June. Let's see. Petitions to stop showering and mowing. The time I accidentally took the Benadryl. The Magic 8 Ball.
Okay.
Doorbells. Disney World's opening day prices. Salad frosting. Can we leave this dead whale in your yard? That's what it says.
The questions you ask yourself every day. Can you leave it?
Nikki as a Mortal Kombat Goat Streamer.
Yeah.
And Hudson and the expired pizzas.
Aw. Oh, yeah, because he found them.
He
I
found
love
them.
looking back at the whole year.
I know.
Hopefully you guys are enjoying our look back at 2019.
And tomorrow it'll be 2020, and we'll still be talking about 2019.
Well, just for a few more days. Our podcast and our Riot returns to normal on Monday, so a couple of more days of this.
It does. So enjoy the podcast, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
The Riot. They're kind of a big deal.
Hey, can we do that again? Maybe a little more energy?
No. RadioU.
You know what I think is underrated? And if you look around, it's true. Go into any, average home in America, and what do they have? They've got a shower bath combo, and what's the bath? It's big enough to put your foot in it. It's just sad. These sad little bathtubs that somehow...
Sad little bathtubs.
They are. They're sad little bathtubs where you just...
It's like when you go into an old house or an old theater from the very early 1900s where apparently people were smaller and shorter and you feel like a giant. Like with these bathtubs, you just don't fit in it.
No. Well,
and it's not just width-wise, it's height-wise.
See, I don't think they built those for adults to take a bath in. I think those are... this is my
for
theory.
Kids or something?
Hey, this will get you through your kids and then take a shower like an adult. Come on. And so I feel your pain when it comes to this, because what I would love to do is I would love to have a huge bathtub that I could live in. I want to have a bathtub, and then I was thinking about installing essentially a soda machine where I could just keep drinking.
You know, when you're at those pools and you can swim up to the bar.
Exactly.
And it's got the seats in it. And you're like, how does this bathtub have this? And then you swim on up to the soda machine.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, anytime you see these kings of old that have built these insane baths and they're like, look at the decadence. And I'm like, oh, finally one that works. Finally what I'm looking for. Oh, my gosh. Which is why I have a hard time, feeling too bad or too harshly towards the guy that at Wendy's, he went ahead and took himself a bath in
the bathtub sink guy.
In the sink. You know what? He did that because he finally found a space that was big enough for him to be able to take a bath, because at home, the bath is completely inadequate. So, what's the big deal? There was soap. So I'm sure it's all clean.
But you're not supposed to when you're at your workplace. I mean, unless it's a case of apologize afterwards, ask for forgiveness then, and no one said no going into it. So now you know.
Mm-hmm. So I haven't found out whether or not, I'm
sure he's been fired.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, don't be sure, Nikki. We should call them right now and see if they're...
I don't want to spread fake news if he's got fired or not.
Hey, guys.
I guess I assumed, mostly because it went viral for the Wendy's video, and Wendy's is not great, wonderful.
Hey, Wendy's
Thank you so much.
Wendy's likes that viral stuff.
They don't want that.
Who was it, Chance, the rapper that brought back the spicy nuggets?
Yeah, that's a different type of viral. That's good marketing. This is not.
You know what, Nikki? I just don't agree. I think this is wonderful. I think the idea of come down to Wendy's, we've been bathing with your food.
I think it was just a prep sink. I don't know.
Well, it's just a real earthy feel that I think that a lot of people...
They're really about the people and what we really want.
And I'll bet you, if we went through all of the training materials that were created for those employees, I'll bet you they were never told to not bathe in the sink.
Because no one thought that was going to happen.
That.
And I can guarantee if you go to any fast food restaurant, people will be bathing in those sink tubs too.
That's probably... This guy, he looked clean and clean cut. At least there's that.
Like, everybody's doing that during the downtime when there's not enough people to keep you busy.
Yeah, this is the real tragedy here is when they tell you that we're getting your fries. Hang on. Fries are coming out hot.
What is taking so long? You don't know they're bathing back there.
The fry guy's in the bath. That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't know if Wendy's was too excited about that.
Well, I'm just telling you that I feel like it's society's fault. Give us bigger bathtubs.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
You know, sometimes one of the great joys of Nikki and I's job are those gems that you find online. Oh, they're gems. You get a chance to...
You mean the stories we locate?
Get a chance to pass them on to each other. And I sent Nikki a real shiner last night. Just a diamond in the rough, as it were. There is, according to Asia One, which is an English website that collects news from Asia and presents it. They have a woman in Hong Kong who apparently
Allegedly.
was...
Well, I just want to put that. I don't believe this.
I
don't believe
Here,
this.
let me give you a direct quote of what Nikki said to me last night about this story. She says, and I quote, "I reject that. It can't be true."
Correct. I stand behind my statements. But you may still present it if you would like.
There's a woman in Hong Kong who was, you know what? Can I just read it to you?
Just make it nice.
I want to read this to you. It says, this is a quote from Asia1.com. "Just ask one Hong Kong woman who temporarily lost 10 years of her memory after overstraining herself while defecating," according to the China press.
So?
She went to the bathroom hard. And, hey, you know what, Nikki? You go hard. You don't leave.
Stop it. Don't ruin any motivational statements for people.
What? You leave it all on the mat.
No. Oh, no. Don't tell me we're dropping people off anywhere. We're not doing that.
Okay. So when she came out of the bathroom, she couldn't remember the last 10 years of her life.
When I first read the article, I didn't think her memory had come back to her, but apparently they're saying that it did. It was just temporary.
They say after, what was it, like 8 hours, 10 hours, something like that? She
returned.
So her son took her to the doctor. I'd love it to explain that one. Like, hey, doctor, my mom can't remember the last 10 years.
Well, they also had
why?
to figure out what had caused it. And then that's when they figured out, was she been in the bathroom right before it happened?
Right. So what they believe is Dr. Peng Xingzong believes that this is transient global amnesia. It's a condition that could have been caused by incompetence in the internal jugular vein where blood flow to the brain is compromised. And so she, during a rather intense bout, oxygen was cut off to her brain.
No,
as a result.
10 years she forgot, but it came back.
It came back once, blood flow returned.
Yes, thanks for sharing this. I don't think it's true, but maybe it is. It could be medical. Could very well be.
Again,
did this ever happen on Grey's Anatomy? Because it seems like they're always looking for, that show's been on forever. I wouldn't be surprised if you see this come up in one of the medical shows. You
know what? This woman goes to the bathroom and she can't remember her husband, and she wants to see her ex-husband, I think, who's dead. And it's because he has to be dead. He can't just be out there. Or maybe he's out there with a younger woman. Or he's out there and married to one of the interns on Grey's Anatomy.
There it is. And then her memory goes away, but comes back.
It comes back, but she has a heart attack from the shock of that, and then eventually gets her memory back.
So that's the story. Do we think it's true, or do we not?
Hey, ripped from the headlines.
It's something ripped.
Ripped from the headlines. I'm sure it's real.
Our New Year's resolutions include eating less sugar, spending less time on the internet, and trying to pay less attention to the riot. Oh, who are we kidding? None of these go hand in hand. This is the riot's worst of 2019.
You know the deal. Somebody's always trying to get their brand name in the news for their blah, 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 whatever. But you know what? This one's pretty good. Ampere Analysis. They do analysis.
Oh, yes.
So if you...
It is in the name, isn't it?
I guess if you need analysis, There it is.
Don't I know? Yeah, I think I know what it is, but
Okay.
we don't day to day. We normally don't need that.
Yeah, I'm not looking to hire anybody for that. But one of the things that they've released is they took a look at streaming services to see how much content that you had on a streaming service. Netflix has approximately 32,600 hours of content available to you.
Okay.
That is more than 4 years worth of streaming.
At a given time, you have
So
that
if
to choose from.
If we started today, May 29th, at whatever time, we would, on May 29th, 2023, still be streaming the content that
That's
we
currently
started
on?
today. Yeah. And they'll be adding things.
Well, they're also going to be taking off
They
some
will
things.
be taking some away.
That time is coming.
There is truth to that. So
Well, I always feel like Netflix is the most, but then I think Amazon has more than we give it credit for. It doesn't mean it's good stuff, but they have a lot of stuff.
Amazon is just an absolute city dump of content.
What a way with words.
It is. It is. Because if you go to Amazon and start digging through, like, there's stuff that it's like from YouTube that is listed as a show, and it's like, what?
There's a lot of layers to it, but again, not a lot of high profile stuff, or not the same high profile as Netflix has, you believe.
Oh, no. So Amazon has 22,600. So that's a little more like 3 years-ish of content. And then if you look for the BBC's iPlayer has 5,100 hours of content. That's all I've got here.
No
is these
Hulu,
three.
or?
I don't have a Hulu listing here, so they should have taken a look at Hulu. Where were they at on that one?
Unless it's so low, it's not on the thing.
No, that's not true. Like, especially, well, I'll tell you what, if you start wandering down the anime hole on Netflix or on Hulu, man, like, they're like, we have 40 seasons of this show, whatever.
I feel like there's just a lot of, if you just start digging, there's a lot of stuff.
There
and
is.
again, most of it is not so good, but it's filler, and that's what holds all of our streaming services together.
That's what holds our lives together. Filler.
Exactly.
Filler. Like this show, filler.
A lot of filler.
A lot of filler here. So,
Yay.
I mean, maybe we are the city dump of radio.
Someone has to be it.
I'm not saying there's nothing good. Like, there's some good, but there's a lot of filler, a lot of trash, a lot of repurposed YouTube.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on Radio U.
Look, everybody hear me out on this before you get all judgmental and you're like, no, we're not going to do that, okay? Just wait till the end to pass judgment. There are two things that we as a society, somewhat silently or, enforce. It's kind of like we've just kind of set standards. Nobody really set the standard. We just kind of all came to the conclusion and agreed upon it.
Yeah.
And now, like, it's been kind of codified. But if all of us would agree, all of us, and everybody has to be in, like all of us, if we would agree to chuck hygiene out the window and just say, you know what? Sometimes I shower, but usually not. Like, I don't need all these expensive smell good products. I'm just going to be.
You're just going to be what you're going to be?
And we did the same thing with lawn care.
You wouldn't have to do it.
We'd
What
be
on the free
fine.
time?
We'd be fine. We'd be totally fine. Like, I see people like spend hours and just huge chunks of their lives on grass. Potentially one of the most worthless products in the world. Like,
And then
it's just
after you
worthless.
spend all those hours on it, then you have to go spend time on hygiene because you stink.
You stink. It's interesting, Nikki, that you said that, but that's what I was thinking last night. I mowed the lawn and I was about to take a shower, and I, like a child, I didn't want to.
Oh, really?
I was just like, I don't want to take a shower.
It's necessary, though, after all that work. But because, if you go back, wind the clock back, the hygiene wasn't a priority back in the day.
Yep.
And that seems to have advanced to where we get us. And I'm sure it'll just advance even more.
And it's kind of that, not to get, there's a trickle down, it's like, we now live at a standard that is so far above what rich people lived at in like the Middle Ages. So like standard of living for everybody, almost everybody, for a lot of people is up, right? And so they used to bathe and now we bathe. So I'm just saying that if we just decided, like, you know what? Who needs a lawn? Let's all just let our lawns grow.
Okay.
It's probably good for the environment.
Why don't you take it out and put in like the stone one when you put in the dirt, the zero landscape?
Because, Nikki, that would be like me, like hurting the environment. I'm killing the grass. Now I'm letting it be free.
Just grow as it needs to grow. Die if it dies, grows if it grows.
You know what? We just let Mother Nature take care of itself. And then same thing with my body. I've heard on the internet one time that if you stop showering, at first, of course, you smell very bad, but after a while, it just evens out.
It's going to be a mess for a long time.
For a while, but then it just evens out. Your body's natural oils.
That's it. It's the oils they always say.
Will begin to, take care of itself.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm a follower, so I'm still going to follow the trends of personal hygiene.
Nikki, the majority of us are followers, which is why that if we had a few key people that engaged in this behavior and we all followed, if everybody did it, it wouldn't be like, you stink. It would just be like, you smell normal, because we've changed the normal.
That's the new normal.
Yeah.
And then it'd be odd if you come across someone who doesn't smell like that.
I feel everybody balking at the idea, but you're part of the problem right now.
Maybe you got to bring it back again to us a few times. We're not ready to accept it yet, but maybe one day.
The Riot has now been downloaded. Hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
I wish we had a little intro. Story time with Obi.
I'm so glad to get a chance to tell you guys what I did last night.
You need to get this out?
I do, because last night I was with some friends, and one of them was having some trouble with their allergies, and I was like, and they asked for benadryl. And I'm like, well, I do have benadryl. Like, are you sure you want to take it? You'll be asleep in 5 minutes. And like, no, it doesn't do that to me. It's fine. So I got it. And she was having a hard time getting it open. And I was like, okay, fine. So I took it into my kitchen and got out a pair of scissors and cut it out and got it open.
Sure.
And then my phone rang, or I got a text or something. So I got the pill in my hand and I'm looking at my phone and all this stuff. And you can already see where this is going. And so then I'm standing there and I was like, I don't even have any water. And so I got a glass of water and took the Benadryl and went back into the family room, living room thing. And they were like, did you get the
Where's the Benadryl?
And I was like, what? Didn't you get it? And I was like, oh my gosh.
You took it.
Oh my gosh. I just took it. I just took that Benadryl. I took a pill. That's how thoughtful I am. Put a pill in my hand. I'll just take it.
You went through the motions. You weren't even thinking about it.
Didn't even think. I was just like, oh. And I had this cup of water, this empty cup, and I was like, man, I don't even have water. So I filled the cup with water and drank the whole cup to make sure, you want at least 8 ounces to make sure the pill doesn't get stuck, and to realize the complete absent-mindedness of the motion.
Well,
I laughed forever.
It's not going to hurt you. It's just Benadryl.
It's just Benadryl, but it normally makes me crazy tired. Yeah. And I just took it.
Well, you seem fine.
I just took a pill. Well, here's the weird thing. I don't know what's going on, but I've been here for a long time.
Yeah.
I woke up really early.
Ready to go.
Really early.
Maybe that was the Benadryl.
So I didn't work out. And again, I don't even know why, but I just got up and just came straight here.
Yeah.
And I've been in the kitchen with my laptop working for hours.
So are we expecting a crash sometimes later?
Is it
going to be a surprise? We just don't know today.
I have no idea. I have no idea. So here I am.
What do you do?
I took a pill. I took
pill.
someone else's pill. And I mean, yes, it's an over-the-counter medicine, whatever. But it just goes to show you, if you put a pill in my hand, boom.
And you went and got a cup of water.
I
took
care of that. I took care of that myself. I'm just like, well, take it, whatever. I still cannot believe that I just took it. And it makes sense. I had the medicine in my hand. I did all the work to open it. And I feel like that the problem was if I hadn't gotten the thing on the phone.
Sure, you wouldn't have been distracted.
I wouldn't have. But when you distracted me, I was like, you know me, I'll just take all the pills.
Here I go.
Boop, take the pill.
Well, sorry about the Benadryl.
What? Who does that?
Thank goodness it wasn't anything worse.
Who just pops pills? I'm a pill popper now, guys.
Actually, probably, you're not the only one, I bet.
That's what I do. I just pop a pill. What the heck?
Just because we're approaching a new year doesn't mean that it's going to change. Actually, if anything, it means the opposite. This is the Riot's worst of 2019.
I don't understand why Nikki and I couldn't get a Riot movie made. And I'll tell you why. Take a look at all the movies that are being developed right now. It seems like there's such a dearth of ideas that they're like, you know what, guys, we'll just do.
You think someone would have taken our idea and run with it?
Anything right now. Like whatever we can, whatever, anything, we'll do it. It's fine. Because it looks like the details in Variety today are that Hasbro is currently developing a Magic 8-Ball movie.
They should be able to tell then when they ask it, will it make any money, that it's not going to.
They shouldn't have asked the 8-Ball because I feel like they asked the 8-Ball. It's like, will we make billions of dollars?
Shake.
Look at it. Yes.
No.
It should have at least said ask again later. Something like that, right?
Are they still made, the 8-Balls, or is there like an app where you shake your phone or something?
I saw yesterday, it's weird how you see this and then this news story pops up. They make a Super Mario Brothers, like, you know, the question mark blocks?
Yeah.
That's an 8-Ball.
Oh, really?
So you shake it up and you turn it upside down and it's like, and it has all the answers.
Does it give you clues on beating a level, or
no?
Is it just Mario related?
It just answers, better not to tell you. Don't count on it.
Don't
it's
make
uncertain.
This movie.
Outlook not so good. So that's what they're working on. That's not the only thing they're working on in that mix. You know, that not just the Magic 8-Ball. They're also working on a Hot Wheels movie, which, all right, cars.
Actually, it's good they started with the 8-Ball one, because in the car ones
it doesn't sound as stupid. It doesn't sound as stupid.
Well, actually, a car thing, it could work. It's the Fast and Furious stuff. It's fine.
Exactly that. You're like, you know what? They make car movies.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I can see this one working better than the other one.
A Barbie movie?
Yeah, that's been in talks for a while.
I mean, like, that to me seems really doable. Like, I can think of a few different things just right off the top of my head, and you would all see them because she's a girl and you're a girl. It's perfect.
And, of course, she's going to be a doctor or...
and an astronaut. And a veterinarian.
And she doesn't have to marry anyone if she doesn't want to.
Ken is just a friend, okay?
All right.
Very supportive. Let's see. They're also working on an American Girl doll. You're an American Girl. She's an American Girl.
I have to see it.
You'll have to see it.
Now I can't think. I won't be able to think of anything but that when I hear American Girl must-see movie.
That's what you are. You see it.
Okay.
Let's see.
And this all who? Hasbro?
No, this is Mattel.
Mattel?
They're also working on a Viewmaster movie.
Gosh, why are there any movies anymore?
Mm-hmm. And then Masters of the Universe. That would make sense.
That's the He-Man one, isn't it?
He-Man. You're a He-Man. He's a He-Man.
That's the one guy who was in that Netflix movie that everyone watched like 25 billion times. So the Noah guy. So everybody will see that.
Oh, yeah, everybody.
So says the 8-Ball.
That's what the 8-Ball said.
It's really It's really why they're making the movie.
Oh, my gosh. I just love the idea of like 3 executives in a room like...
Oh, no, that's a crossover.
You ask it.
That's when they decided to join forces, and that's going to be the next movie after it.
Wait, no.
With Barbie, He-Man, and the 8-Ball and some cars thrown in.
That's how they do the crossover. You find out that there are these 3, the triumvirate, that sit above in the shadow, and they have the magic 8-Ball, and it's what controls the universe. But they lose it, and it ends up in the hands of Skeletor. But He-Man is unable to do this on his own, and that's why Hot Wheel Jack, Barbie use the Viewmaster to see far beyond where they are so they can find the 8-Ball.
Yeah, so at first when you're talking about these movies that are coming, these aren't just ones we made up. Well, some of it is what we just made up there. You're like, that's the dumbest thing. But as we hash it out, I could actually see a script forming. Oh, man, and I'm a little scared.
It's hot, man. I'm telling you what, I'm writing it with this pencil. It's like, it's so hot I can't even hold it.
It's crazy.
It's on fire now.
So we'll see what movies come from that. can't we just wait? We're so excited. Good movies. Make sure you keep your AMC Stubs thing because you don't want to miss out on seeing any of these things.
I'm not canceling it now.
Good movies coming out.
Not with this news coming out.
I hope it's within our lifetime. It's not after we die.
I'm going to live long enough to see this movie made.
Finally going to take care of our health because we want to live long enough to see this
I finally found something worth living for.
I know, it's my motivation.
The Magic 8-Ball crossover movie with He-Man and Barbie.
And Viewmaster.
And Hot Wheels. Well, they got to have something to drive to get there.
You're listening to The Riot. Let's all work together today to live life with the patience of a Nikki dealing with an Obadiah.
Gotta hang in there and get through it.
You're listening to The Riot.
I want you to grab your phone right now and get ready to text us because I want to know what you do in this situation. So be ready. 877-2-RADIO-U.
You should always be ready anyways.
You should be, but
now especially.
In particular, I really want to know what everybody else does. So you pull up to a friend's house, you walk up to their apartment, whatever. Do you ring the doorbell? Do you knock on the door? Mm-hmm. Or do you just text, I'm here?
Yeah.
So what do you do?
I'll usually text.
Yeah.
Because I don't like the confrontation of a doorbell.
Feel like it's intense?
Yeah, but, whenever people come over, they still always ring the bell. So,
always?
Well, most of the time.
Because I'll tell you what, I don't ring the doorbell usually. I mean, I guess if I'm dropping in unannounced, which why would you do that ever?
That's not nice. That's not being a friend.
You better be dropping off a gift, is all I'm saying.
You could just drive by and throw it out, but please don't ever, actually come on in.
Yeah, I will say my friend Chris came over the other day, rang the doorbell, and he was dropping off an Obi-Wan Kenobi action figure that he bought for me.
Well, then that was nice of him.
That's good. That's a good one.
Now, technically, since I have a smart doorbell, it's attached and it's got a camera, so they ring and let me know when someone's coming up anyways. And then if they push the doorbell, then it'll run through my phone.
Okay. Well, Nick says that he texted in that he would knock or ring. JC says in the car you text, at the door you knock. But it doesn't look like he's ringing the doorbell. This comes from, I saw it trending on Twitter last night and even into this morning, a guy named Stella Stan. He tweeted, can someone write an article on millennials killing the doorbell industry by texting here?
Yeah.
Which, dude.
Is there a doorbell industry, though?
Of course there is.
But what do you mean? They're just always there on the place anyways. You rent or you buy, there's a doorbell always there.
Yeah, but somebody had to install it.
But they're not going to go changing that.
Yeah, but now there's a whole new industry of what? Replacing with smart doorbells.
Yes, that is still, well, that's even better. That way you don't even have to, you can just turn it off. Then you don't hear the ringing anyways.
So, but see, there is an industry for that. It exists. And so I just want to know, this guy's saying that millennials have killed the doorbell. I want to know what people do. Stacy says, I knock on the door. I have dogs and get super annoyed that they bark when someone rings the doorbell.
That's the worst.
They unplugged their doorbell. That's interesting. Mm-hmm. Stephanie says, text when getting close and then knock. Ayla says, just walk in. My friends say I'm weird and overly confident.
So you're just going into the house?
Well, Ayla...
if it's a friend, that's
I'll
fine.
just tell you, my door's locked. You're not coming in. Justin says, ring the doorbell repeatedly until they open the door. I have friends where I would do that.
Yeah.
Just annoy the crap out of them until they come to the door.
If you think about it, too, since we don't always go over to everybody's houses as friends, it's more also dealing with delivery drivers. So for Amazon and UPS and FedEx, and normally within a window, they ring the bell. So unless they start changing things, we still need the doorbell.
Mm-hmm. So you feel like the doorbell is important? Okay, the guy,
no.
You know what? Complete side note, yesterday I was taking a nap, and I know this was 2 days ago, and I don't know what the heck, but whether it was Amazon or the post office or what, they threw the package at the door.
Did you hear
I heard the dunk, and then they rang the doorbell, and I was like, well, thank you,
Sometimes
pal.
I think they just throw it at the doorbell. They hope to hit it
Lord
then.
have mercy. Whatever it wasn't broken, but it should have been.
Now, that would be nice if they could it automatically sends a text and say, hey, your package. I get one after, but it'd be nice instead of ringing the doorbell if they just said it's now at the door.
All right. So it sounds like you're still in favor of doorbells, Nikki.
I think it's
which
still
surprises me.
It's an a smart doorbell. We should all just switch over to that.
Proper planning prevents poor performance. Clearly, the riot didn't properly plan. This is the worst of the riot on RadioU.
I don't know about you guys, but a lot of times I like to just curl up and grab a blanket and maybe get myself some tea and just enjoy some good Reader's Digest.
Ooh.
You know?
Is that a magazine? What is that?
The Digest.
The Digest? What does it cover?
It is a magazine, but it's also a website.
Okay.
I don't know. I just remember my grandparents used to get it. Never read it, but there it is. Reader's Digest. So they have an article here on Reader's Digest talking about Disney World. Nikki, do you know when Disney World opened? Not Disneyland.
No, I do not.
Disney World.
I can look it up.
1971.
Okay.
That was one of those do you know, but I already know. I got it here for you. 1971. So they are approaching, but not quite, at the 50-year mark at that location in Florida.
I'm sure that'll be a big celebration with bigger prices coming soon.
Okay. So let's see. Disney World, their current ticket price, $109.
Yeah.
So here's my question to you, Nikki. Do you know how much it cost to get into Disney World when it opened?
Okay, and you said 1970?
1971.
1971.
There was a big wave of inflation between 70 and 71.
I wonder how popular it was in the beginning. So I've never asked someone who would have been around then or read anything. Like, was it this huge thing to go to in the 70s? So was it expensive in the 70s, or was it building in its popularity?
Well, Disney had, as a brand, had some real serious slumps in the 70s and 80s. But Disney World, I think, was still...
Was a travel destination back then?
Was still thought of highly, yeah. But it is not the brand that it is now then.
I guess I don't know what's expensive in the 70s, but would it have been like $25 to get in?
That's a good one.
Is it?
That's
more
good.
or less?
That was way less than that.
It was?
$3.
No, it was not.
And 50 cents.
No, to get into Disney World back then?
$3.50.
Wow.
Now, taking in inflation, that would be approximately $21 today.
Okay. It's crazy.
Imagine being able to go to Disney World for $21.
That's what it should be.
That's amazing.
Even though I don't know if it was that inexpensive, would they be able to handle crowds and stuff?
Well, I don't think that it would be what it is. As the ticket prices have gone up, so has the complexity of the attractions and a lot of stuff like that. On top of which, it's one of those weird things where when something becomes expensive, all of a sudden it manages to feel like a prestige item. So, think about how you sit around this. It kills me to think about it. You save money to go there. You're saving money to just give it to them.
Fine. It doesn't have to be 20, but it also doesn't have to be the price that it is currently. Well, we could find a happy medium.
It's really important they get all that money. Though.
Right. Because they're getting that. They're getting the merchandise. They're getting the hotels, all the travel stuff, everything.
So you pay $109 to get in. And then I think it was $200 to build your own lightsaber. And then
if you want to do that.
Holy crap.
I hate to tell you this, but I've never gone on a day where it's been $109. It's always more than that.
Oh, really?
I don't know if that's a certain day that, those peak days.
Nikki, let me pull you in over here. I've got a business where I just, connect people up with their Disney World. And really a 5-day package is where the price break really starts to kick in.
I think actually that's true. They try to save you money, but then you're having to give them even more for all their package stuff.
I'm going to help you save money by spending more.
I feel like this is a trap.
That's the best way to do this.
So in 1971, it would have been $3 to get into Disney.
$3.50, which would be approximately $21 today.
They feel like that was a lot back then. Were people mad, or have they always been mad about how expensive it is to get into Disney parks?
I don't know. I guess it just, again, depends on what other things, but it seems to me like $21, at least to me, is enough for it to be well, it's not free. It's not I don't feel like $21 is completely throwaway money, but at the same time, if you're hey, we're going to go to this amusement park for a day and it's $20, I'd be yeah, whatever.
But I don't know how it was back then with that money. I'm not sure.
Do they have corn dogs there?
How much was the corn dogs?
I don't know. It seems probably fairly reasonably priced based on this current article.
And what does this mean that Disney will get to in the future? What will it cost them?
Probably your soul and a kidney.
There are some parts of 2019 that are better to be left in the past. This is one of those parts. This is the Riot's worst of 2019.
Hey, what's something that you learned about life super young, right? That people are just going to lie to you and trick you to get you to do what they want.
Yes.
Right? That you've got to be careful, that the world's full of terrible people, et cetera, et cetera. You probably learned it from your parents.
Well, stranger danger. So, yes, they wanted to make sure you were safe.
Oh, no. I'm saying you learned to not trust your parents early on.
Oh, really?
Because they would do stuff. They would take you to the doctor and be like, this won't hurt.
They'll lie to you on the way to the doctor to get you in the car.
Am I going to get any shots? You're not going to get any shots.
Well, you get several.
You get there and the doctor's like, my favorite pincushion is here. We have so many things to shoot you full of.
Thank you for bringing your son in.
Like, Mom, did you know about this? Silence.
They just had to watch what the words were about. Like,
Yeah.
am I getting a shot? No, but you got many. So technically they weren't lying.
It reminds me, for some people, it happens really young. I was sitting in a waiting room at, was it like an urgent care or something? And there was a little kid that was maybe 3 years old. I don't know. I don't ever know how old kids are. I just know that they were really small, but they were still talking. Mm-hmm. And they walk into this room. Oh my gosh, this is the worst thing ever. And the door is shutting, and you just hear this. You hear this little kid's voice go, how do they get the blood out?
Oh, they didn't
And
know.
the entire waiting room just went, oh.
Oh, no.
Like,
They'll
I mean,
find out.
It was an audible, everybody felt the pain of that kid in there.
Once they find out.
Sure enough, within 5 minutes, there was just screaming and wailing. And it was like, well, he figured it out.
Now he knows.
Yeah. So this terrible, terrible lie that's told to all of us as kids, I feel like Kraft is now right in the middle of capitalizing on it.
Of the lies.
Mm-hmm. And I'm, of course, talking about salad frosting.
Seems like a packaging thing, like it's just a trick. It's a marketing trick.
You mean it's adults lying to children?
So basically, Kraft is doing a salad frosting in order to try to get a younger audience to enjoy their vegetables. It is it's a tube. It kind of looks like, like the portable yogurt things.
Or like apple sauce?
Yeah, like it comes in a little packet with the little circle top to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that, but you call it a frosting, even though it's kind of like a dressing.
Mm-hmm. So they are saying right there that this ranch dressing is salad frosting.
Even though it's actually quite funny they say this. It's not like ranch is the best salad dressing we're supposed to be choosing anyways, but I guess it's better than nothing.
It's a start, right?
Yeah, it's start to somewhere. It is packaged like a frosting so that kids have more fun putting it on, or adults if you want to have that thing.
It's all lies.
It's just marketing. It is packaging.
No, let's call it what it is. It's lies.
It's like when we had the purple ketchup for a little bit.
How do we get the blood out?
How do we do that?
That's what this is. Somebody's like, do you want some frosting on your salad? Yes, I do.
So it is literally just ranch dressing, though. In case you think it has any other taste to it and it's got a different consistency, it doesn't. It's just ranch dressing with a different packaging. Mm-hmm. So then you could say, oh, you want to put frosting on something? And you hand it to them.
And then because kids are dumb, and then you have that moment when you realize that adults just think you're dumb. I don't know about anybody else, but I had that moment so early in life.
Oh, you did? You had that revelation?
Yeah, my aunt was trying to convince me that these hash browns that she was feeding me were the hash browns I brought from McDonald's. She ate my hash browns and then tried to serve me these other hash browns.
What's wrong with you?
Totally happened. And I remember as a kid just being like,
you're lying
thinking,
to
like,
me.
She's lying. This is not the same hash brown, and she ate my hash brown.
Not stupid. Well, now you can have salad frosting, Obi. Don't you want salad frosting? We love frosting.
Learn early.
And learn often.
And just to be clear, that water you paid all that extra money for, just from a tap.
No shame, though, in case you go to the store and you're like, oh my gosh, they have salad frosting, and you get excited for a moment and you almost buy it. It's just ranch dressing.
Just remember, you're excited on the lies that they're trying to sell you.
So just don't.
Remember that.
Don't buy it unless you really want to, but you can't just buy the big bottle of ranch. That also works.
We're all very hurt.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously. This is The Riot on RadioU.
What is this?
That I sent you?
Dead whales?
I didn't read all the story yet, but it's about if you are in a certain area of Washington, the state is urging landowners because they have a problem and they want to know if more landowners who are along the coast of waterfront, so if you have a waterfront property, they need your help with something.
They want you to leave the dead whales where they are. So if you've got a dead whale that's washed up on your waterfront property, the people at NOAA, that's the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, would like it if you would leave the dead whale there so they can just come by and watch it.
Well, they wanted to decompose somewhere, and then when done, they would like the skeleton that's left behind to be used for educational purposes. So there's been about 30 gray whales who've been stranded in Washington so far this year, which is the most, and they say, in 2 decades. And they would like people to allow. I don't know if a whale gets stranded somewhere and it dies, they then take it over to someone's land, or if it actually lands up and then they ask the owners where it's at. Does that make sense? Like, are they moving it?
Well, okay. I have
multiple
done? Things. One, if there was a dead whale that was just outside my window, I would be like, you know what? I'm interested in having this dead whale removed.
Yeah. So, but they want owners who would allow it to stay there on their property.
Mm-hmm. For no financial.
Do you get anything?
No.
You don't get money?
It's for science.
Oh, that's the worst.
Mm-hmm. So that's what they want to do. Okay. This reminds me of this time, my friend's dad, he was raising a cow for slaughter.
Aww. Well, I know it just happens.
Don't you have like burgers for breakfast? Where
okay,
do you think they remove?
Your tone.
Do you think they remove the meat surgically?
Your tone, it seems a bit much.
I'm just saying.
You understand? Your
do
tone.
you understand?
I understand.
Where meat comes? It's not
just
from
sad
a meat.
When
it's
you
not from a meat tree.
I couldn't have it just grow up and I know its name and everything.
No, that's exactly what he did. He had this cow that was going to slaughter the next day.
Yeah.
And it had a heart attack or something and died.
The day before?
Yes.
Oh, no.
So all of the sudden, if
and you can't take it to slaughter.
No. And if you have an animal that dies on your property, at least where he lived, it's your responsibility
to remove
it. You have to bury it or have it removed or whatever. So that's my thought is if you have a dead whale that washes up, is it like the dead cow? Do you have to is it your responsibility? You have to pay for dead whale removal?
I don't know, but I did find the answer to one of my questions. So for this particular whale that they're talking about with this couple who's now going to let it on their oceanfront property to decompose, it did not die there. It died somewhere else.
And then just washed up?
No, a response crew towed it to the site where the homeowners will leave it to be decomposed.
Oh, no.
So then
there's
going to
have to be serious financial recompense.
I know. I thought when I saw the article, I thought, that you must get a couple $1,000s or something, right? That I don't see that anywhere. But for science, then you let it decompose there. Then they can have the skeleton and be able to do research on it.
Whoa. Okay. So here's a text from Rachel. I do like this. I was thinking about the whales. What if my neighbor has a dead whale and he decided to let it stay there and rot and the whole neighborhood would stink? So you would need to get everybody that has a dead whale to remove it for it not to continually stink up your area.
Right. I think it's only in parts where, if you have waterfront property, no one else is near you.
What are we doing?
It's not like you're in a subdivision who just happens to be on water. Well, they're not going to let you do that.
I mean, in fairness, I'm not geographically familiar with exactly how this is laid out, but just a heads up, for everybody. I don't care what it is. If it's dead, I want it out of here, unless it's in my fridge.
You just go out with trash bags. You're like, okay.
Would you be willing to allow this dead whatever to decompose on you? No,
thank you.
I'm not.
But they're looking for people. So if you're in Washington, they need your help desperately.
Noah wants to talk to you.
Yes.
You're listening to the worst of the riot. RadioU.
I got big news for Nikki.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for Nikki's next job because I think she's going to be fired soon. And I don't
That or are you pushing me out or what?
Nope. I'm not pushing you on, Nikki. I'm just afraid that, I know things you don't know. And when they fire you, it's going to come as like this big shock.
And you just want to make sure that I'm aware.
Oh
and
my
that
gosh, I can't believe it. I've never done anything else. I'm a radio person.
I want to make sure I have some backups, right?
Yeah, and so, the goat farm is a given. You've been very resistant to it, but I feel like when your options are gone, all of a sudden the goat farm, you'll go, my friends always told me I'd be great at running a goat farm. I
feel like that time has passed. The goat farm was a popular thing maybe even last year, and I don't hear about goat farm stuff or the yoga goat, all that stuff as much as we used to.
That's because you're going to bring it back. That's it. You're going to be the high-powered woman that
leaves the city,
executive that leaves the city and goes to a small town. And you know what? It's too bad you're married, because I could totally fix you up with the local sheriff, recently widowed, and heartbroken, feeling as if he would never love again.
He's got some goats he doesn't know what to do with.
His wife left him a goat so that he would have someone to love, but the goat's been sick. And so he brings it to you to nurse the goat back to health.
And we find a love through yoga.
And then you're able to reconnect. And she left him a note, John Wick style, because he would need something to love, but she knew that the goat would lead him to a new love.
Now, Mike just texted and said, I need a bear farm. I just think an animal sanctuary would be the best.
A bear farm, I think you could fit right in.
But I don't want just bears. I like all animals.
And then people call you Mama Bear.
As a sign of endearment.
Like people show up to do a news story on you, like, high-powered executive woman leaves the city to raise bears. And they show up and your name tag says Mama Bear.
Because I don't want to do this anymore.
Are you Nicole? Just call me Mama Bear.
That's it.
Why don't you give me a big bear hug while we're talking?
What is the job that I could be looking into?
Yeah,
or is that it?
We're 2.5 minutes into this, and we haven't even gotten to the thing.
Heard about it.
Well, Nikki, I just wanted you to know that Combat League is starting up, and that's the all-new seasonal ranked mode in Mortal Kombat 11.
Nice.
And here's what I see. Either one, you play Mortal Kombat and you're a streamer and you make a ton of money because
I love Mortal Kombat.
And you love Mortal Kombat and people love you. So let's see if we can make a financial relationship here.
How do we make money happen?
Mutually beneficial.
Because people don't expect me to like Mortal Kombat, and I do. Mm-hmm. So I think that we could really capitalize on that.
So like that scene where the guy rips his spine out and beats the guy with his own spine, and Nikki's like...
It's only because it's so violent. If something is so violent, my mind just switches and be like, no, that's not true. And so there's entertainment in that. And that's terrible.
Oh my gosh, Nikki. No. Oh my gosh. How are we missing it? We missed it, but we almost missed it because we found it. You're going to be a gaming goat streamer. So
what?
Okay, wait for it. You're there gaming and all that stuff and streaming Mortal Kombat 11 for the Combat League, blah, 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 whatever. And you've got each day you've got another goat with you.
Oh, gosh.
And the goat just hangs with you while you play.
On the shoulder?
Yeah.
Like they climb on you? Would you guys watch a stream like that?
They would.
You would?
And listen, I'm talking about RadioU's only so big. This is going to be the thing you're going to cross over the boundary. Mm-hmm. All right? You're going to break through. This is your breakthrough moment, Nikki.
If you want to set it up, maybe I'll try a stream. We just need goats.
That's all we need.
And that's all we need. We have everything else.
And Mortal Kombat 11.
Otherwise, we're good.
Honestly, what do you think? $100 investment here? How expensive is a goat?
And it's going to change our lives.
Though.
No, we're going to rent first. I don't want to invest money unless I know for sure.
No, but see, I think you, as a mama goat, you've got to go all in or not at all. Okay, so that means you've got to know that goat's depending on you. So. I think people are going to be able to tell whether the relationship's real.
All right, well, thanks for all these ideas.
It's fine. Hey, you have a meeting today. It's about 30 minutes after the show.
It's at the end of the day.
Just let me know how it goes.
Are you going to bring me the box so I can take my stuff to go?
Oh, no, I'll be in your office. I'll meet you at the door.
Okay. Thanks for this talk. You're always here to make sure I'm okay.
And listen, it wouldn't bother you if I moved into your office, would it?
You've always wanted it.
I've just always wanted an office.
I know, it seems bad now, but I'm sure one day we'll be able to look back at this and laugh. Who are we kidding? No one will ever laugh at this. This is the Riot's Worst of 2019.
Yesterday afternoon, Hudson came upstairs and so great.
Where was this thing at?
He goes, he's just like, hey, do you know those pizzas downstairs? And I'm like, I guess. I don't know. Like, you know, the ones in the freezer. That tells me a couple of things right away. First off, Hudson is hungry.
And he doesn't have any hot dogs.
That's the first thing it tells me.
Because Hudson brought in like a hot dog toaster.
Yeah.
The one where you put the hot dog buns and the hot dogs in it at the same time.
Yeah.
So I feel like he was trying to branch out to something else.
The second thing it tells me is that Hudson's been locked in this building and hungry before because he's had his eye on the pepperoni pizzas
That's in the
freezer at RadioU. And I mean, I guess I noticed they've been there. I don't know. They're just
on
there.
The side where it tends to be people put their own freezer stuff.
Yep.
Like we have a community section. There's even a drawer up on top where there's more stuff.
Yeah.
But that is in an area where you usually don't touch the things there unless it's yours.
And the thing that he pointed out, and he's right, going just by the expiration date, which was May of 2016.
Someone
so it's
really left that in there?
3 years old. That means that those have been moved from a freezer to a freezer.
Oh, because we had a newer fridge.
That's right.
But someone probably didn't want to throw them away because they were in the section for someone else.
And so I believe Hudson is correct. Now, it would be impossible for us to know, but this pizza, I mean, that's from a staff member from what, 2014?
Long ago.
2013?
They probably left them here.
I mean, who the heck? Well, I'm sure they did. Because, you know, if you were going to be leaving at work, you wouldn't be like, I want to make sure I get all my stuff and my pizzas.
Well, usually you grab your food, but like, I mean, this would have been in the freezer. They probably just forgot about it.
They forgot all about it.
Did he eat it?
I don't think he did.
He didn't eat it?
I don't think so. I think he just threw it away.
Well, that's responsible of him. Finally, someone did.
Would you eat something that was 3 years past the date?
I bet you're probably fine. I thought Hudson would have eaten it.
I mean, I'll tell you, okay, let's say that zombie apocalypse, we haven't had pizza for a long time or any really great food, and we stumble across frozen pizza.
That's a good day.
I'm eating it. Like, it's, you know, it's a done deal.
We don't care how old it is.
So
I just thought he would have done it for, like, radio. Because he just sort of seen what it tasted like. He should have made it, and then you could have followed along on the journey.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. There's probably 40 or so comments here of people telling him whether or not, one, whether or not he should eat it, and two, confessing to all the things that they have eaten.
Oh, from that long
have been
ago?
way past. Yeah. Adam says, I don't see any issue. All I see is a recommendation. Dante says no. Christopher says as long as there were no significant power outages, it might be tinged with freezer burn, but it's probably still edible.
As long as you scrape like the ice layer that you get on it, I'm sure he would have been fine.
Yeah.
Makes me want to look in the freezer, see what else is in there.
You know what? I'm afraid to.
But just because we should probably be cleaning it out, we're missing something.
In fairness, I was afraid to before Hudson showed this, and now I'm even more afraid.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.